there, I am Gazbot. I am an artist, among other things. I do an independent kaiju comic, that's Monster, called The Horror A4. I do a lot of Godzilla art, I do some Ninja Turtle art, I do some Transformers art, and I do a lot of Power Rangers / Super Sentai art. And in about 3 weeks, or less than 3 weeks, I'm going to be going to Rangerstop in Orlando, Florida, which, as far as I can tell, is the second biggest Power Ranger convention there is in America, the first being Power Morphicon, which I did earlier this year. This will be my first time going out there, and it'll be my first show where I don't have a friend I'm staying with or a partner I'm going with. I do a lot of local shows, you know, within an hour or 2 or 3, where I drive out and go by myself. But usually when I go to a distant show, I've been to Chicago, but I have a friend that lives there that I could stay with, so I don't have to pay for a hotel. I've been to Boston, same thing. So this will be the first distant show in Florida. And I do have a friend in Florida that I'll probably see while I'm there, but not close enough that I could stay with them. So I'm going to be flying out myself, doing all the setup. I won't have anybody to drive me to the airport. I'm going to have to get, you know, an Uber or a shuttle or something. And so it's kind of a new dimension. Even though I've done distant shows before, this is the first time I'll go where I'll have absolutely zero help. And I'll be staying at the hotel where the convention is, which I usually don't. Added cost, but hopefully added convenience. And on top of all of that, I'm trying to prepare. I put a new pin order in, so I have some Power Rangers pins that I haven't made before, plus a restock of my old pins. But more than that, I have a lot of 9x7 headshots of Power Rangers. When I did Power Morphicon, I went in with, you know, having, I don't know, 15, 20 of them, and I said, oh, I better do some new ones. So I made sure I had all the original Mighty Morphin lineup, which is the most popular. And my thought was to try to get one headshot print of every guest that was going to be there, every actor that was a Power Ranger. And I failed. I did a lot. I think I did something like 12 or 15 in the weeks leading up to it. After that, there was a big anniversary episode of the show that had a bunch of past Rangers come on, and I busted my butt to get the 9 or so more I needed done for that episode so I could release them at the same time. Did that. So going into this show, I've got, I don't know, 30 Power Ranger headshots, and I have a couple larger ones too, like, you know, of the Megazord and things like that. And since the last show, again, I have like 10 new ones or whatever. But going into this, it's a smaller show, but it still has a lot of actors. I think there's like 20 actors. Now, a lot of those I already had the art for, but some of those actors also play 2 different characters, so it'd be good to have both versions. I don't know if I could do that. My goal is to have at least one headshot, one character headshot of every actor that's going to be there. Going through it, I had, you know, maybe a third of them already done, at least one of their helmets. So my goal is to get done at least one by within the next week and a half. Now, I have more time than that for the show, but I need to send them to the printer and get them back. And without express shipping, that takes 7 business days. So if I want to have this all done, today is Tuesday. By next Monday night, I need to send this in. If I do that, I should get them back at the latest the day before I leave without express shipping. So I did 2 yesterday, which I'll show you right here. And that was sort of the light day. I had nothing going on that day, but I was sort of jumping back into this sort of heavy mode. Today I'm going to try to do 3. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do 3. Thursday I'm going to try to do 2 because I have plans in the evening. And then over the weekend, I'm going to TwitchCon with my wife, who is getting into the whole Twitch thing. Her streamer name is Airzuki. If you're interested, I'll put a link below. And I don't know how many I'm going to be able to do. I said I would do 1 Friday and Saturday. You know, maybe I'll bring my iPad with me. And then Sunday, I thought I was going to do another 3, but apparently we're going Sunday too. So that puts a little crimp in it because Monday, I think I was only going to do 1 or 2. So we'll see how it goes. But this is the road to Rangerstop with me, Gazbot. So it's about 3:30 Tuesday, and I finished my first headshot of the day. And here it is. It is Zordon of Eltar. That's a little bit awkward. That actually looks more accurate to how he would look if we were sitting below him, but that's the actual image. I did this in Photoshop CC 2018. I've been fluctuating between that and Clip Studio, and right now it looks like this is winning because my Clip Studio trial expired, so I'm going to stick with this. So I got this done today. As I talked about earlier, I got Lightspeed Red and Time Force Blue. Got those done yesterday. Previous to this round, I did Ninja Steel Blue. Did that in between the last show where I had some time. And he will be at Rangerstop, but I'm not counting that as ones I need to get done because he's done. Anyway, if you look over here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ideally, I will have 14 done in the next 7 days. So that's an average of 2 per day, which actually isn't that tough because I've caught up on most of my client work. I have a commission, but it's not due until after this. It does put a crimp in my plans to get work done on the Horror A4 issue 3, but, you know, got to prioritize. The problem is I'm going to TwitchCon this weekend, as I said, and I thought I might be repeating myself, I thought I was only going Friday and Saturday, and I was going to try to squeeze in one headshot each, and I could even bring my iPad to do some rough pencils while I'm there, pencils, quote unquote, but I'm going Sunday as well. So Sunday I'd plan on getting 3 headshots done. So the point is I'm going to have to hustle to try to get more done and or not get everybody done or pay express shipping or use a local printer or something, but my ideal situation is that in 7 days I have 14 more heads done, which brings me to the next point. I better get back to work. So I've probably talked about this before, but what I typically do is I'm going to do In Space Red, so I'll go online and get a bunch of reference images. Some, you know, this is probably a cosplayer but has interesting lighting. This is the still from the show, another still from the show. Here's like a turnaround, which is really low resolution, but it shows the detail and the costume from different angles. One of the best reference, that's another one from the show. One of the best things I could find, that is kind of the background I'm going to use too, similar to that anyway. Toys are good. I have that toy, but it's downstairs, so I just grabbed the image. But these, Aniki Cosplay does helmets, and they post turnarounds where you could buy them. Those give the best detail, especially on the side, which you don't always have a good shot of. So I'll take those, and then I'll build from there. But because I've already done In Space Blue, as you can see here, I will actually import this and build off this because I will use similar elements to the background. I want to make sure it matches the color and stuff like that. And I also want to say, okay, it's about this big because it's going to be a series. So the In-Space Rangers don't have to match like the Mighty Morphin, but they should match each other. So seeing that, okay, I have a little bit of the shoulders, he's about this big, these are the shines I'm using, those are the line weights. I want to make sure it matches enough. So I actually just take this file, rename it In-Space Red 1, and go from there. So here's the deal. It's, what is today? Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday, which is the day I wanted to send all the files in to get all the prints done for the show. I did not do that. I lost a lot of time this past weekend over TwitchCon. I did get a lot done. I have at least one headshot for every actor that is going to be at Rangerstop. I don't, however, have the various different characters for each actor, which was my, bonus goal. That being said, I still, well, basically how it works is because I didn't send the print order in, here I am at my desk. Because I didn't send the print order in, I have to pay for express shipping. Because I have to pay for express shipping, I have not just today, but tomorrow as well. So today's Tuesday, I was supposed to be done and working on other things, but there's nothing that's super pressing. So I'm gonna take today and do another headshot or two and then send the order in tonight. So I will still get it in time. I have to pay for the express shipping. Might as well get another print or two out of it. That's my plan. Okay. There might be some videos up by the time this goes up of some of the headshots I worked on. One I just recorded. The other, I've been experimenting with Twitch. My name on Twitch is Gazbot with 2 underscores. Can't get regular Gazbot. I had gotten Gazbot with 1 underscore, but accidentally made the account wrong, so I made another account and couldn't get my own name that I had on my fake account that I deactivated. So whatever. But I'm on there if you want to follow me, check me out, etc. It's mostly just drawing and talking. There's none of this kind of stuff. Well, I guess there'll be a little corner side thing. Anyway, there's one up of, what was I doing? Hyperforce Red. It's in 3 parts. So it was like 4 hours of video spread over 4 hours of time spread over 3 different videos where I go from nothing all the way up to a finished color product. I don't know how interesting it is. I don't know how well it'll do, but Twitch seems to be a thing. Q's doing it. I went to TwitchCon, it got me all zimmed up, so I'm experimenting with it, and I can export to YouTube, so there you go. But this is about Rangerstop and the road to Rangerstop, so right now, I'm going to get back to work, working on some new headshots. So it's Wednesday, Halloween. Theoretically, I have time to do more headshots today, but I have to send the order in today, and I keep kind of missing it, so I have to pay for the 5-day shipping already. I'm going to send the order in today. I formatted all the files. I just have to send them to cat print. A little tired, excuse me. And I am checking inventory of my previous prints. I don't think any reprints, because I did a lot right before Power Morph Comp, but I want to make sure I'm not like, oh, I only have 2 Green Rangers left from Mighty Morphin. That was a mistake, Also, I got my box of pins in. So I'm going to go through that, pull out the Ranger ones that I need, and get those ready as well. That's on the agenda for right now. Through the pins, it's interesting, I've been using half-price buttons for a while, and they just started doing this, where if you look, this is all Tiger Zord. This one I had a lower run, so it's a little bit mix of Jungle Fury Red and one of my Godzillas. But for the most part, they're all divided out into their own shrink-wrap bags. This is new. I used to get one huge pile, kind of looked like, well, this is even kind of divided, but just, and I'd have to by hand divide all of them. And if I got a couple hundred pins, that could take me a few hours. Then they were doing it in bags, but it'd be like 2 or 3 bags. Just this order, I was thrilled, because I thought this was going to take me a really long time, and it won't. So, but anyway, I'm pulling out all my Power Rangers, new and old, and filling this box. You can see I can have a couple Green Rangers, White Ranger, etc. And then I'm taking the remainder and putting them in these Ziploc bags, and I'm keeping it all separate. This is going to be my main display for Rangerstop. Now, I will still bring some Godzilla pins, but what I'll probably do is fill this case with my best-selling Godzilla and other pins, not worry about bringing every single one, and bring no refills. It'll just be this. Whereas the Power Rangers, I will actually bring the refills, as much as I can anyway, weight permitting. So what am I doing now? Well, as I said, I need to inventory my old prints. As I scan down, I'm going through them. A bad habit I have, and I think probably a lot of artists can relate to this, aside from not having taken a shower yet and still being tired, is that I don't do a good job with inventory. Now, I do a good job, in the sense that I keep track of how much money I've spent and how much money I've made. So I know what shows are profitable, I know this and that, and I can see certain prints are selling out, so I should order more. But I have kind of a slapdash system with like 5 different note files and notes on my phone and scraps of paper, so that when I say, okay, how many of this print did I order originally? Like did I have 50 of these prints or 100 of these prints? It's like, I'm not sure, because I had 50, then I sold 25, but then I ordered 10 more at some point. Right now I have 13, but was there another order? And like, so I have a general, I know exactly how much money I'm making at shows, and if it's worth going back again. And I have a general idea of which prints sell well and which don't. But I go through phases of where I'm documenting it really, really well, shaking the camera. And then, because it takes so long, it'll take hours and hours and hours, that the next couple shows, I'll be in a hurry, and maybe I get back and I'm exhausted and I throw everything down and I don't necessarily collate the data into one big spreadsheet or whatever. And I also have a bad habit of things get mixed up at the show. So like right now, I'm like, how many Green Ranger prints do I have? Well, I had 2 that was on the display, then I had the bag of overstock behind the table, but then I have the ones that I still had at home. So now I'm having to sort them before I can even count them. I've thought about getting a program. Some people have talked about some version of Quicken that's like really scaled down just for a small business inventory. I should do that. I'm not gonna do it right now, as usual, but I am trying to update all my notepad inventory to see what I ordered, what I've sold, and to see what I might need to reorder. And unfortunately, it's very time consuming. Hi kids, you want your candy? Is this a Snapchat filter? No! Real life. Prop. Well, as I said, it's Halloween, and I was wondering when the trick-or-treaters would start. It's about 6:30. I guess that's when they start. This is my second Halloween actually having trick-or-treaters come to the house. Every place I've lived previous to this, no trick-or-treaters. Either it was an apartment, or it was a house that had a weird door, or it was in a neighborhood people didn't come to, or I wasn't home. I was out at a party or something. But last year we got some trick-or-treaters. And one thing I made a mistake last year is I had a big tray of candy and I'd hold it out and be like, take one. And a lot of kids didn't take one. If they take 2, whatever. But a lot of kids were taking handfuls. And I'm like, oh, that's why you put it in the bag. You don't let them, because I was trying to let them pick because I have different kinds. I'm like, well, they've lost that privilege. The other thing is I turn off my outside light and just have kind of like Christmas lights, but they're Halloween lights, like they're purple and orange. And I have a couple things that like yell at them, so that it's like a gauntlet. Like if these things, the bird and the light scare them off, well, then they don't get their candy. But I had to deal with it when I was a kid. I'm spinning around a lot, I apologize about that. But I don't want to talk about trick-or-treaters. I want to talk about cat print. And I put my print order in, and it's a little tedious. I feel like, hey! Anyway, cat print, the way they have it set up is like, I don't know if it's tedious or that I'm not doing it right, because I feel like every time, what I have to do is I have to upload all my images, and then I select the front and the back, put them in the files, select a custom size, select that I don't want full bleed, select the type of paper I want, and the quantity. And I feel like if I'm doing 14 or it was 15 of the exact same size, with the exact same background, same paper, same everything, I should be able to just put them all in and be like, okay, I want 10 of this, 5 of this, 15 of that, and go. There might be a way to do that. I haven't figured it out, and as I was talking before about inventory, I'm always in a hurry. So I'm like, I don't have time to learn a new thing. So I have to do it the hard, slow way. Now, there might not be a way. That's the other thing. I don't know there's a better way to do it. But I just got done doing it that way again. So just putting the order in took me about an hour. However, today's Wednesday. I need them by Thursday. Oh, here come more people. As I was saying, I have a shirt on. It's Ant-Man doing the specium pose, which is Ultraman. And it says, I think, what does it say, giant? No, it says Ant-Man. It says Ant-Man, but this is him in his Giant Man mode. And so it's Ultraman. So I always thought, I like Ant-Man a lot, the movie more than the the comic. And he always reminded me of like a Sentai hero, an Ultraman hero, and I'm a big fan of Ultraman, so this shirt spoke to me. And a bunch of kids, they were all some version of Spider-Man. And the one kid's like, oh, you have a cat. I'm like, what? Yeah, I know. And the other kid's like, thanks for the candy. Yeah, they're all kind of yelling at me. And then the one kid's like, it's like calmly but quietly, he's like, it's like Ant-Man's doing a Naruto pose. But I didn't quite hear him. Like, what? It's like Ant-Man is doing a Naruto pose. And I'm like, I can see why I say that. It's actually Ultraman, but, you know, he's doing a hand signal like Naruto. Sure, fine. What was I talking about? Oh, the printing. So, 5-day guaranteed printing. So my thought was I have to have it by Wednesday because I'm shipping out Thursday. And even if it comes Thursday, what if it comes later than I'm leaving? Whatever. And I think I made a miscalculation, not for the first time in this endeavor, because when I put all the order stuff in, it said it would come guaranteed by Thursday. But I leave Thursday. So if it comes first thing in the morning, great. But if it comes at night, I'm in trouble. So I'm like, crap, am I gonna have to pay for 3-day shipping? Because for 5-day shipping is $40. For regular shipping, I think it's like $20. So it's already doubling it, but it's like, what are you gonna do? But for 3-day, I didn't even check what the price was, but I know it'd be a lot more. It's like, oh my God. And then I'm like, I travel Southwest usually, and they have 2 free bags, which is how I get all my stuff over there, but there is a weight limit. Oh! It's almost like doing this video on Halloween was not the best idea. Not just that, but I got distracted. I fed the cats and I left the can out. And so Star Commander amazingly didn't find it for like 3 minutes. And then she was just eating the whole can of food after having already eaten. Uzi was stealing her sister's food. It's madness. There's kids, whatever. So the point is, I decided, hey, can I get this sent right to the hotel? Because then I don't have to pay the extra shipping because it can get there by Thursday and I'll have it. And then the convention starts Friday. No problem. And the bigger issue, well, that's the issue for today, but the bigger issue in general for when I travel is there's a weight limit on bags that I have to stay under it or pay a lot more to go over if I want to go over it. So if I can get, 40 pounds of prints or whatever it is, probably it's not that much, sent directly to the convention, then I don't have to pay to get it there. Now, the caveat is I hopefully will sell enough prints and pins and everything that I'll have that much weight on the way back. If not, then I'll have to make some hard choices. But this way, I'm avoiding the express charge, and it's less weight I have to bring. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely a smart move for today. I don't know if it'll be a smart move for every show, but it worked. I called the hotel, and I checked with them, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. We'll hold it. What's your name? Derp, derp, derp. No problem. We do this all the time. Which means I'll probably have to tip some guy a few bucks for handing it to me, but beyond that, I see her. You see her back there? Look, I don't know what she's doing, but she's just... I found food up here, so now I have to search the whole house like an Easter egg hunt. She's such a garbage eater. So it's Friday. I finished inventory for the 9x6 headshots that I was working on and put the order in and all that's good. I did an inventory my 11x17s and my other sizes. I'm going to be doing that before I head out. I'm not heading out for close to a week still, but that's just whatever. One thing I noticed that I was trying to do the inventory, which I had said I'd fallen behind on my 9x6 headshots, and there were some that I had, for the most part, I ordered 10. 10 was like kind of my default. Certain characters like Tommy as the Green Ranger I knew would be very popular, not just because he's a popular character, but because I would sell it as part of my Mighty Morphin Team set, and I had a Tommy set, so I was ordering like 30 of him or 40 of him, and then others, maybe like a popular Red Ranger, maybe I got 20, but for the most part, everybody got 10. And that's, usually I'll get 5 or 10 depending on where I get it printed, because the more you get, it makes more sense. And with cat print, getting these 9x6s, if I get about 10, that's, the price comes down to the point where I like it. Some printers, you could do it with less or more, whatever, but I digress. Some of the prints I was looking at, I had 10 left of, and that was like, okay, that makes sense. I don't remember selling any of these. It's not going to be a popular print, unfortunately. Some of them I had 10 left, and I'm like, well, wait, I know I sold 1 or 2, and how can I be sure? Well, obviously memory is a flawed thing, but I did mark stuff down at the shows, but I didn't even have to go back to my notes from the shows because some were teams, some were, sets. So for example,
Megatron. Oh, this isn't Power Rangers, but in the same headshot size. Megatron is one of a set of 3 Decepticons or a set of 6 Generation 1 Transformers they did, and I had 10 left of Megatron. And I know I sold at least 2 because I sold 2 full sets of 6. I thought I even maybe sold 1, but I knew for sure I sold 2, but I had 10 left. And that's when I realized that although I ordered 10 and I paid for 10, I actually got 12 at least. And others I looked at that when I went back and counted them manually, I had 11 or 12, even though I had only ordered 10. And these are ones that I maybe didn't sell any of or maybe sold 1 of. And so what I realized is when I got the order in, I used to be a lot more diligent about checking to make sure I got the correct amount, and I was almost never shorted. So I kind of stopped worrying about it. But at least this past order, one of these past orders where I ordered like 10 or 11 different headshots, 10 each, I was getting an extra 1, 2, or 3, which is great because it's free product and it makes my profit margin go up, and awesome, thanks Catprint. But because I didn't count them properly, I didn't account for it when it comes to how many am I selling, so it might look like I sold 0 when I sold 2, or it might look like, you know, so the accuracy is a bit off in the sense that it might look like I undersold certain prints. Now again, the money-wise, it all adds up because I kept track of the money, but not necessarily the physical inventory as well as I should. So I'm gonna have to start being more diligent about when orders come in, counting them and making sure what amount I have. Even if it's over, which is, you know, theoretically a good thing, I need to know for accounting purposes of the inventory.
It's Saturday. I have to leave for a caricature job. In about 5 minutes, I'm supposed to get ready and then head out in the next 5-10 minutes. I was having a cup of coffee and watching part of a show while I was, you know, eating Pop-Tarts for breakfast. And then this one joined me. And then this one joined me. And then this one said, yeah, me too. So, if you could see, I have a 3-cat pylon that's causing traffic delays. It's Tuesday. My flight leaves Thursday. So, I'm probably gonna do most of my packing tomorrow, but I decided to get a little bit of a jump. There's still some inventory that I could stand to do on some of the larger prints, and also minimizing, because while weight is an issue, and I'm trying to be more realistic about my expectations of what I might sell, especially after having going to Power Morphicon, my best-selling prints I was selling less than 10 of. There was a lot of diversity. There was like, well, maybe 10-ish of my best-selling prints. But, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna limit the prints I'm bringing. I'm not gonna bring one of everything I have. I'm gonna bring all my Power Ranger stuff, some Godzilla stuff, but I have a lot of other tertiary things that I will bring, kind of like when I went to G-Fest. I will bring not every print I have, but even within, let's say my Power Ranger prints, I have the headshots. I was gonna grab one, but it's not handy. I typically print 10 of each. I'm not gonna bring 10 of each. My very popular ones, I'll bring 10 or 20 each, like Green Ranger, as I talked about before. The others, I might only bring 5. Anybody that is not a guest there and is not super popular, I might just bring 5 each, which should be more than enough. I'm still probably overcompensating. And then I'm gonna check with weight as well. Similarly, my big prints, it's gonna be tough because I have a large Green Ranger, White Ranger, Megazord, and the Green Ranger especially usually does very well for me at Comic-Cons. When I brought it to Power Morphicon, the Power Ranger Con didn't sell a single one, only headshots. So I feel like I have to bring them, and common sense says, well, I should bring 10 or 20, but maybe not. So I'm gonna be kind of figuring that out now, not considering weight too much, just like what is the minimum I could bring everything and not feel too nervous that I'm gonna run out. Once I do that, then I'll weigh things and take more out as necessary. As I said, I already have 1 box of prints being shipped directly to the hotel, which I should check the tracking on that because it should be getting there any day now. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. Back in the garage, working on that. Okay, so I'm revisiting the pins, which I had sort of previously worked on. Made this small case, all Power Rangers. I did have 1 empty slot. I just doubled up on Megazord, guessing that that'd be sort of universally popular. These hold 6 each. This is all the qubits, you know, 8-bit versions I have of the team, so I just loaded that up. I have 2 more, it's 12 extra, so I'm bringing 18 of each, not including these, so that when each of these is empty, I could refill it 2 times. When I did G-Fest, I basically brought this and this filled, and I ran out, pretty much. So I'm hoping I'll have a good run on pins again, but I don't want to run out. So before I weigh it, I'm going with about 18 of each. I was going to not bring extra of Aqua Ranger and Jungle Fury Red because they are the least popular, but when I looked at my overstock, this is all I had left, so I'll just bring that. So weight is going to be part of it. But the other thing is, last time I ended up putting most of the pins in my backpack, which made for a very heavy backpack, but they don't weigh your backpack. So I might do that again because this is some of the heaviest stuff I bring for the size. So I'm going to bag all this stuff up and the Rangers will be done. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this case, which is normally the overstock. I'm going to fill it with my most popular Godzilla and other pins and not bring any overstock for this. So I'll bring this case, and a bag full of the overstock Power Rangers, assuming weight and space allows it. That's my goal.
All right.
This is the other one. I've whittled it down. There's actually one or two designs that are not represented at all, but they're lesser selling ones and things like that. Most of these are just one design. This one has two versions of Mazinger Tranzor Z. This one is splitting with Ultraman because I only had a few. And this is the horror. I have 3 different pin designs in here. I might pull some of these out when I get to the show, but again, this is everything that's not Power Rangers. I can close it up, put it in my backpack, don't have to worry about weight. And, you know, these should not sell. These should not be big sellers. But I've learned again and again that it's random, and it could be at the Power Rangers convention. For whatever reason, everybody wants Godzilla pins. Probably not, but I can't know for sure, so I gotta bring them.
And then start destroying those things so that the water will just go bloop, 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 and fill up this hole, and I'll just have the one.
Going to water the plants in the backyard. Super exciting stuff, I know. Why am I filming myself watering the plants? Well, A, for diversity of shots and backgrounds and environments, but also to talk about, I last night went and did some more work in the garage, which I didn't film. Basically, I thought I inventoried all my prints, not just the ones I need for the show, but all of them, in an effort to get back on top of keeping track of things. But I realized afterwards there was a whole Tupperware that I did not count, which makes sense because a lot of my prints, it seemed like I had less than I thought. Like, oh, I've only got 10 left of these. I thought I had printed 50, and I don't remember selling 40. But that's because the last 2 shows I did were away shows, and I had segmented it out, and what I was counting what was left over from the show and whatever. So I have this overstock in the Tupperware, which I need to count. A, so I know what I'm selling and ordering and blah, 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 but also so I can have a better picture of what I'm bringing to the show with me. So that's what I'm going to do in a minute, is finish inventorying that and then pack, because it's Wednesday and tomorrow I'm leaving. My flight is at 11, so I'm actually leaving before 11. So I definitely need to get everything done today, and I have a bad habit of leaving things till the middle of the night, and then I stay up till 5 in the morning when I got to get up at 7, so I'm trying not to do that. But I am watering the plants because I haven't done it for the last 2 days. It's supposed to be done every day. I have trouble with multitasking. I have lists which have like everything I need to do ever, and then urgent things, and then super urgent things. And even my super urgent things, I usually don't have enough hours in the day to do. So certain things fall by the wayside. Similar how I talked about I'm focusing on the Power Ranger headshots because I have a show coming up. And because of that, I was not getting stuff worked done on the Horror A4. Similarly, I'm worrying about packing and inventorying and all this other stuff, and I haven't really been keeping up on the watering the plants, and then I was playing with the cats more, but then because of that, I didn't do the weed whacking and back, and I made sure to do a load of laundry, but then I should clean the cat litter. So like, I have a really hard time multitasking. What happens is I realize I'm slacking in an area, like inventory, and I'm like, I'm gonna hit this. And so then for the next week, in addition to doing like what I can on my daily stuff and client work and stuff, I'm like, every free time I have, I'm working on the inventory. But because of that, other things slip. I don't know what the solution to that is other than getting some kind of scheduled rotation or whatever, but sometimes I'll make sort of a schedule, and this is like what I'm gonna do tomorrow, and then something comes up where I'm like, oh crap, I have to go to the bank and deal with this, or I forgot to go to the post office, and then there goes a few hours, and now that thing moves to the next day, and like, so, I don't know, multitasking is difficult for me is all I'm saying. I don't even multitasking is the right word, but it's easier for me if I'm focused. Similar with artwork. When I'm working on the comic, and I'm like, I do a comic page every day, over time it does get easier and I get into a rhythm, but then I have to do some client work, or I have to, you know, I'm away for a few days or whatever, and I come back to it and it's hard again. So I don't know the answer, but I'm gonna go finish watering and then I'm gonna pack.
Okay, so this is where I left off last night. That's all my supplies, like bags and boards. I was inventorying my comics, blank covers that I might bring, or a sketch cover that I've already done, for example. That's the pins ready to go. Here's a suitcase. I was thinking about bringing my flat hand truck, but it's very heavy, and I realized
I'm gonna be staying at the same hotel where the convention is happening, which I usually don't do, but this time I did because it wasn't too expensive. I was able to book it, and I won't have a car or a friend or whatever, so I should just have to get it from my room down to the, you know, convention area, lobby, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna bring 2 large suitcases in addition to my backpack, that have wheels. So worst case scenario, I take double trips down there, but I could do that because I'm not a million miles away. I don't have to leave the building. So I'm not going to bring any hand cart, which hopefully won't be a mistake. But when I did G-Fest, I didn't either. Now, granted, I had someone to help me, but still, I think I'll be okay. So I'm going to pack now. Well, I got to finish inventory. Going to finish inventory and pack now. Well, as with everything in my life, this is taking longer than I thought, so it's good I started now. It's 3-something, but I've been doing this for a few hours already, and as I said, I don't want to be doing it in the middle of the night. Where I've gotten to, I did all the inventory, and I have my 8x8, which are all Godzilla, a couple Ultraman headshots, and I have 2 of most of them and 3 of some of the more popular Godzillas, and I already have them bagged and boarded, so I'm not bringing any extra bags and boards, any extra stock. It's just like, that's what I have. And if there's a run on them, well, you know, it's a good, bad problem to have. The 9x12s, I have a couple Power Rangers, but it's mostly Ninja Turtles. Similarly, anything that's not Power Rangers, I have just 2 or 3 of the more popular ones, bagged and boarded, no extras. So if I sell like 3 sets of Ninja Turtles, I'm out. But again, good problem to have, I guess. The Goldar, and there's a Hyper Force Red Ranger Zord. Those I have more of, but not that many, less than 10 each. The 11x17s, I have the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, and the Megazord. I bagged and boarded 3 each and brought an additional 10, so 13 of each, which again is, usually I bring at least 20, but I don't usually sell 20, so I'm trying to put my ego in check and find reality. But I will bring some extra bags and boards, which I have over there. I won't bring 30, which would be enough to sell all of them. And if I end up selling that many, then I can cannibalize from the other ones, or just say, hey, sorry, I'm out of bags and boards. But that's where I'm right now. I gotta go through my other 11x17 prints and decide how many I'm gonna bring of each that are not Power Rangers. Most of them I'll probably bring 1 or 2. Some Godzillas I'll bring a few more. Those going, and then the big thing I gotta do is these 9x11 headshots, which are likely gonna be the big sellers, and I need to keep in mind that I'm gonna have more at the hotel, so I need to bring extra of these. So, goods. All right, some time has passed. I'm working on the 11x17s. What I'm doing, you can see here, this one I have 3 total, that's it. Most of them I'm putting 2 in bags and boards, and 4 more not. So not the horror, because I don't think that'll be very popular. So there's only 2 of these, only 3 of these. But the more popular Godzilla art ones, I'm bringing 6 total, which again, it's either going to be way too much or way too little. I hope way too little. Ultraman versus Godzilla, one of my most popular prints, I'm bringing 12 of, especially because I'm going to the East Coast where no one's ever seen it. Then again, Mazinger, Great Mazinga, not very good seller, so I'm bringing 3. So to give you an idea, like the really popular one, 12, the not so popular ones, 2 or 3, everything else, 6. And this is all pending weight, of course. And over here, you can see the piles growing. I got the pins, I got the 9x12s, the 8x8s, some original art, the 11x17 piles growing. And then I have comics there. I'm not sure where I'm going to put those. And I brought the scale in, but I haven't started weighing things yet. So here I am having a little floor lay. I'm still working. I have done the first culling of the 9x6 Headshot Power Rangers, some being as low as 5, some being as high as 20. Trying to use my best judgment. Still probably overestimating. Yeah, but I got 1 small bin filled, and now I have to fill a bin with my headshots that are not Power Rangers, and then I think I'll be ready to start weighing stuff. Well, bedtime. No, not really. It's 5:30. I am in bed because I had to come upstairs. I have everything segmented, separated that I want to bring. And I started packing up some Tupperware, but I remembered last time I had to fly, what I ended up doing was using my clothing as packing, because as opposed to paper or something else to hold everything together so it doesn't rattle around and get folded and bent. And also because I need to save space and weight, I just take my clothes that I'm going to wear and use that as packing material. But I had not packed my clothes yet, so I came into the bedroom to do that, and I just laid down on the bed for a minute, and now I have to get up. But now I have to get up. The time for action has come. I'm going to get some clothes. It's not that action-packed. Okay, so I have this filled up and has some clothes packing it. This is the one I used last time that I forgot that the people opened it up and smashed up a bunch of the Tupperware on the way home. So I've kind of taped it back together, which if they decide to search it again, they're going to have to rip through the tape, but whatever, they weren't careful with it the first time. So then I have this Tupperware, a little bit of clothes, these prints that I got to figure out what to do with. I might use like bubble wrap or a box or something. This I'm taking carry on. I got to tape it because the zipper busted and I never got a new bag. That is for the backdrop behind me.
And then these are gonna go in my backpack. These might go in my backpack. I also might slim that pile out more. That's the comics. This is one of 2 suitcases I'm using, and there is the scale I'm using to weigh them. I did a little bit of pre-weighing. This by itself is something like 27 pounds. The 2 small 9x6 headshot things are about 15 pounds each. I have both of them in there, so that means that is over 30 pounds. I have a maximum weight of 50 pounds each inside the suitcases. I think there's a 50-pound weight limit on my backpack too, but again, they don't check that, and I don't think I'm gonna go over 50.
So I just weighed the first bag, 53.4. Gotta empty it, gotta loosen it, gotta lighten the load.
I took out some business cards, those 2 mini stands, frames, whatever, easels, and it's 49.4, which is exactly enough. They might let me slide, or they might make me pull something out. I guess I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna pack the other bag and see, but I'm gonna leave this one alone for now and hope. Usually I like to go a pound or 2 under just to be safe.
Man, I don't know what it is. 51.5 on this one. I'm like pretty good at estimating how much you could accept, but always like a pound or 2 over. So I gotta take some out. I'm getting tired. I've been doing this. We had daylight savings time, so now it's like 5:30, 5:45, but it's been dark out for like almost an hour. It's like, yeah, it's 6 something and it's been dark, and it's weird because I'm used to it being, you know, like, oh, well, it's dark and, you know, start making dinner. It's probably 7, 8, you know, whatever. But no, it's not that late. It's adding to the psychological whatever. I got to take some stuff out of this bag. All right, so the second one wasn't too hard to fix. I had decided to put this pin tray in so that I wouldn't have to have it in my backpack, and that put it over. I swapped it out for my smaller one, and now it's just barely under. I should take it out and put it in my backpack, but I do remember how much my back hurt the last time I did that. So I left it in, but if they say it's overweight, I know I could pull that pin out, throw it in my backpack, no problem. The other one, if they say it's overweight, it'll be more of a problem. But again, I'll just get to the airport a little early and deal with that if I have to. Sometimes it's a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. But if their scale is a little bit different, it might be slightly over. And even then, they'll usually let it slide. So I gotta be done. I'm gonna put my backpack, and I should be good to go. One thing that sucks is I had for a long time I had 1 tablecloth, a black tablecloth that I would put down on the table. Recently, like the last show I did, I bought a second better tablecloth to hang behind me because I have a big photo studio frame bar that I hang my prints down from, but I didn't have a tarp behind it. Doesn't need it, but I thought it might look nicer. I got one. I packed that. I cannot find the other one. I know I had it at the last show. I'm pretty sure I didn't leave it there. I've looked through boxes of the toys and things that I had at the last show. Can't find it. So I'm going with just 1 tablecloth. So if there is no tablecloth on the table, then I don't have it on the backdrop. And often there isn't one on the table. But if there is one on the table, great. Then I have one for the backdrop. And if not, you know, whatever. I've been doing it one so long, it doesn't matter. It's just annoying that I finally bought a second one and now it's like I don't have it already. All right, well, it's about 10 o'clock Wednesday night. The 2 main suitcases are packed. Again, I hope the weight will be okay. I've packed up my backpack with the pins and my, you know, drawing implements, pens, pencils, things like that, as well as batteries, iPads, things that I'm going to need on the plane. I'll probably bring some Pringles or something because I never like the snacks they have. And yeah, I'm gonna, hey, what's up? My cat. A lot of cat stuff going on. I'm gonna end here. And I will have videos from the show. I don't know if they're gonna be up before I get back though. So this is the 0 day, the preparation day, the road to RangerCon. I keep saying day, but it's been several weeks. But gonna go to sleep tomorrow morning, get up early, head to the airport, and then the magic begins. And like I said, I'm a little bit, nervous isn't the right word, apprehensive isn't the right word, uncertain about how it's gonna go, both in terms of money and just in terms of, I could end up, you know, I'm gonna get down there at like 7:30, but I'm gonna be wide awake because for me it'll be 4:30, and I don't know anybody, and it's like, I guess I'll get some food and sit in the hotel room, maybe draw, but, you know, have hours to kill, and that might be the case for most of the nights I'm there. So regardless of how well the show goes or how much money I make, I hope there's fun things to do within walking distance, otherwise I'm gonna be really bored at night. And again, theoretically, I could do some artwork, but I know myself, and after a show, I'm usually exhausted, so unless I have a commission or something, I'm probably not gonna draw. But that's that. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll see you next time on my way to the airport, on my way to the show. Okay, bye.
Welcome to Rangerstop! Rangerstop 6 is here. Join us and celebrate Power Rangers' 25th anniversary at the premier Power Rangers convention of the East Coast, November 9th through the 11th, 2018, at the Holiday Inn across from Universal Studios Orlando. Enjoy 3 days of nostalgia, excitement, and surprises. Meet your favorite Rangers from a variety of seasons. And for the first time, Rangerstop welcomes guests from Super Sentai Jew Ranger. Meet our guests. Shop at our exhibition hall for exclusive Rangerstop merchandise and collectible toys, comics, video games, and so much more. Enjoy our photo ops, costume contests, Q&As with other various exciting events, and our exclusive VIP dinner. Rangerstop 6 will be held in the Holiday Inn across from Universal Studios Orlando at 5905 South Kirkman Road, Orlando, Florida 32819. For more information and to purchase your tickets, go to Rangerstop.com. Rangerstop 6 is proudly sponsored by Renegade Game Studios. Come see us November 9th through the 11th, 2018, celebrating 25 years of Power Rangers, only at Rangerstop. Be there.
This is a public service announcement. This is only a test.
Cat. Get out of here. Being a jerk, stealing her food.